What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Adam, this is Vancity Audi, and your eyes are not deceiving you. I have arrived at UNITRONIC headquarters. I'm here in Laval, Quebec, right after the Canadian Grand Prix. I scooted my way over. I think it's about 30-35 minutes from Montreal over to Laval to see the guys here at UNITRONIC. I've been using this company on my car for, I don't know, 3 years now. I switched over from another company, went over to UNITRONIC in my RS3, and since then, the rest is history. I've had a tremendous success with my RS3 on track, and I've enjoyed their software, some of their hardware, and now I'm finally here after all this time to meet the guys behind the company, to see what's kind of going on behind closed doors. I'll see what kind of little secrets they might reveal to me, if any, maybe some upcoming releases. I am not too sure. I just wanted to go and say hi to the guys and thank them for all the support they've been giving me over the years, and to thank them for making such incredible software and hardware for my RS3. We've arrived, UNITRONIC headquarters, and there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. John, how are you doing? Welcome. Very nice to meet you in person finally.
Yeah, likewise.
Spent all this time going over all of our software calibrations and putting them on my car. Now I get to finally see who's actually on the other end. Very, very cool. We'll take a look at the showroom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Welcome to UNITRONIC. Here's two of our development vehicles. We have our MK8 GTI and then our 8Y S3 here. So obviously we're developing all of our performance hardware and software parts for both of these two vehicle platforms, as well as the Golf R that's right around the corner.
Very cool. I'll take a look at them. You're okay with that?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. These GTIs, these Mark 8s, are just another level above the Mark 7s. The fit and finish, the high quality, everything. You got this little itty bitty shift knob. Not a huge fan of that, but I imagine the performance out of these things is going to be huge. Audis, fan, love them, and they even have them in the same color as what I like to use, the white on black. It looks amazing. I expected a bit more. Not quite as elevated as I expected in an S3. Maybe I'm expecting a bit too much now that I have the B9. B9's a bit spicier on the inside. Still, I owned a 2016 before. It's still an amazing car to drive, and I can only imagine UNITRONIC is going to take things to another level with performance in these vehicles as well.
Here's a couple more of our development vehicles. These are vehicles that see the road on a daily basis as we continue to develop our performance software and hardware products. So the RS6 is using a pair of turbo inlet elbows and our upcoming carbon fiber intake.
You got it all. That is beautiful. Are these all for sale yet, or still in development? They're finalized?
These are still in development right now. We're expecting a release within the next couple of weeks.
Very, very neat. Air intake's already for sale?
Not yet, no.
Nothing is.
The turbo inlets and the intake are.
Oh, insider scoop here. This is pretty cool.
And then we also have a set of our downpipes that we're testing. And then this will be combined together with an intercooler upgrade and then our stage 2 performance software.
So you have downpipes, intercooler upgrades, turbo inlets, air intakes, software. You have it all for the RS6 platform. If you guys are familiar with the channel, you may have seen we already dyno tested a UNITRONIC tune, Stage 1 Plus, Audi RS6. It made over 700 horsepower. I can only imagine the potential that this car is going to have utilizing UNITRONIC software and UNITRONIC hardware.
So here's our R8. This is an RWS model. It's a basic Sheepey Stage 1 kit on 94 octane. Makes about 960 horsepower at the engine on about 7.5, 8 pounds of boost. Here inside of the frunk, you're going to find the water reservoir for the air-to-water intercooler setup on the Sheepey Stage 1 kit. So I'll take you out back. Here's another one of our cars. This one is an R8 V10 Plus. It also has a basic Sheepey Stage 1 kit. This one was made specifically to further develop the 91 octane calibrations, mostly for the West Coast fuel quality. So this one makes about 800 horsepower and is running about 5.5, 6 pounds of boost.
800 horsepower on our 91 octane fuel on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Very impressive stuff. It's also lowered as well, I see. Don't know how you guys manage that out here in Quebec, but it looks really, really nice. Now that we've had a chance to take a look at their amazing collection of shop cars here, which is really impressive because they get driven. They're not just development cars that sit inside a shop and get worked on. These guys put kilometers and miles on these vehicles. This car, I think he said, has about 8,000 miles on it driven with this kit. Really impressive setup. So now time to go inside Unitronic and see what lies within their development site. Kind of see what they're working on today and how some of those processes work.
So here's the bread and butter of our business here. We have both of our two dyno cells here. On the left-hand side, you're gonna see the engine dyno control room. Follow me a little bit further down the hallway. Again, on the left-hand side, here's our DTS Superflow engine dyno. There's a 2-liter MQB engine on the dyno right now. We've done a couple of large turbo upgrade tests. DTS Superflow engine dyno is useful to us in that it allows us to work through a lot of empirical testing at a much faster pace than traditionally working on a chassis dyno with the engine bay constraints and things like that. It also gives us the opportunity to instrument the engine and on a lot of the components with some additional sensors for data collection and feedback, which ultimately helps us produce our performance software. And right next door here across the hall, we have our Maha LPS 3000 chassis dyno. It's a 4-wheel drive chassis dyno that is able to measure the drag coefficient on the rollout that gives you a really accurate engine power figure.
We see various dynos used amongst all of our customers all the time. Everyone's ventilation system on the dyno and the setup is going to be a little bit different, but what we stress to all of our customers is that if you want accurate results on the dyno, the ventilation system should match road-like conditions as closely as possible. So in this particular room here, we inject about 28,000 CFM in and extract about 30,000 CFM out of the room. This creates a little bit of negative pressure and allows us to simulate some elevation. But most importantly, we're exchanging the air in this room once every about 6 seconds, so we're making sure the engine is always ingesting fresh oxygen.
So a company like Unitronic really likes to maintain a high level throughout everything that they do. So a lot of their stuff is made in-house as well. And what John has shown me right now is where they make their UniCONNECT cables. It is a pretty cool little setup they have here where they do everything in-house. They manufacture the cables to make sure that high level is kept throughout all of the cables they ship out. So we've made our way upstairs at Unitronic headquarters. Now John's gonna take me into their 3D printer area and show us a little of what goes on in there.
Here's our rapid prototyping area. We have our Stratasys F370 3D printer here, along with some products on display. This is the turbo inlet for a B9 2.9 liter twin turbo, like in an RS5. So it's a great example of how we can start with an initial design concept made out of ABS M30, take care of all of our fitment prototypes and things like that, and then we can move into a functional prototype. This part is made out of Ultem. It's a little bit more thermally resistant than the ABS M30 material. We can actually functionally test this on the car, on the chassis dyno, and then we can segue into the final production piece, which is manufactured out of carbon fiber. And then over here we have another example from the B9 RS5 platform. This is our air-to-water intercooler upgrade that is on the B9 2.9 liter twin turbo platform. We started off with an initial 3D printed rapid prototype, got rid of all of our fitment constraints and things like that, checked all those boxes, printed the silicone couplers out of a flexible material called TPU that our F370 has the capability to print with. And then we can segue into the pre-production prototype piece, or the sample, the production sample. On this particular piece, we've instrumented it up with a couple of extra sensors and things like that. We're able to measure air temperature and air pressure before and after the intercooler core. And we're also going to be instrumenting it up with water temperature and pressure probes to measure water temperature before and after the intercooler core.
So the tour's wrapped up, a pretty incredible place with all of their many different rooms, and the dyno room and the engine room, and all of it is just pretty incredible stuff. So John invited me back to this dyno room where the TTRS is strapped down. He says he's gonna do a dyno pull in it, freaking awesome, but then he has something special he wants to show me. We'll see what that is.
So you're wondering why I wanted to do a dyno run with you here today. We've been hard at work for the last about 2 years now on something that's really anticipated, really sought after from our customers, and that's native FlexFuel support with the MED 17.1.62 ECU. As you can see here within our Unilogger, the logger is now able to see ethanol content. The ethanol content is being broadcast over the CAN bus with our device, and it also has the ability to interface with our upcoming iOS and Android Bluetooth application.
Oh my God, that is incredible.
So this is our UniFlex device, the hardware component of our upcoming FlexFuel support for starting with the MED 17.1.62. It outputs both an analog and digital signal, and also is a complete plug-and-play integration directly right within your vehicle to ensure that it's an easy integration for all of our customers. It also is going to output a low energy Bluetooth signal for our upcoming iOS and Android application.
Well, that wraps it up here at UNITRONIC headquarters. John, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for coming.
This was pretty damn cool, guys. I never thought in a million years I'd be able to actually tour the facility where some of the parts are designed, where the tunes are made. This was a pretty damn cool thing. Over here in Laval, Quebec, the FlexFuel.
Coming.
Wow, we've been waiting a long time for this. So many of you, you're never gonna do it. They have been working long and hard on it, proven in this video. It exists and it's coming soon to market. Do we have any idea how soon?
I'm not going down there.
We're not even going down. He's a smart man. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, take care.